Hello and welcome to Connolly Outdoors. This is my first review video off my new channel. I'm a established YouTuber and I'm used to doing YouTube videos, but the camping video is new to me, and this is my first review on my 4-month-old channel. Still pretty young channel. So anyways, we're looking at the Titimo hot stove for hot tent camping, which I thoroughly enjoy. My son and I are going to be going hot tent camping soon in the winter. Still summer here, September 1st. It's not going to be winter for a while, but I got this stove and I thought I would do a first burn. So that's what we're here doing today. We're just doing a first burn. We're going to take a look at it and do a first burn. So I'm going to move the stove over to where we're going to do the burn, and I got some kindling. First of all, dry kindling, and I've got some small pieces of wood that I'm going to use to burn, and I got a cold beer. So we are ready to go. Let's do it. All right, so here we are with the Titimo hot stove, and comes with a bag that you can carry it around in. This does not come with it. It's a separate thing that I'm going to put on the ground to prevent any burns on my cement, because I'm in my backyard, and unfortunately I don't have any grass in my backyard. It's all pool and surrounding cement and deck area. It's a decent sized backyard for the neighborhood that I live in, but it's all pool. Certainly not complaining. I love that pool, but can't do a burn in a hot tent because it's way too hot. So we're just going to do this burn just to get rid of the oils, get rid of any smells or whatever that are on it. And also I wanted to do a video to burn, and can't really do a review because I got to get out and use it in a hot tent to really review it. But we're going to take it out of the bag. I'll show you what's in it, show you how big it is, and we will go from there. Okay, so let's take a look at how it comes. So basically, I'm just going to put it on here. You open it up. I already assembled it. It doesn't come this assembled. You got to put it all together. I already did that, and I didn't film anything, so this is just the berm. So I'm actually going to turn it on its side to take this stuff out. I think that's a better idea, rather than it all just falling out on me. So there we go. So here's what we got. We got some bent arm, and that's the stove jack cover for the hot tent. This is for the ashes and for moving it around. Of course, gloves put on when you're handling anything metal, sharp edges, etc. Put these on. They don't fit me very well. I got pretty big hands. And then I'm going to take, this is for the bottom. Comes in 2 pieces. This is on the bottom, so it sits on the bottom, and the ashes are going to form underneath once it burns down. So I'll take those 2 out, and I preferred to get a stove that does not have the wrap up, or the folding ones, the ones that you have to wrap the pipe in. I preferred to get one that's solid like this. Don't have to wrap it at all. Now I have other ones that wrap, but for this particular one I decided not to do that. And that does not come with a smoke arrestor. I had to buy this separately. It's for the guy lines, but this is the smoke arrestor. And let's just take all these pipes out, put it all together. Legs fold out like this. Beauty. We got this beautiful mirrored side just on one side. the mirror is, or the, not a mirror, sorry, a window is just on one side. It's solid on the other side. You can get ones, obviously, that are have a window on both sides. It's got an area here, whoops, an area here for air, and you can control the flow of the air. Of course, right here determines how much smoke is going to go up. Now, because we are doing a first burn, I want to get this thing pretty hot. So I'm definitely going to leave that pretty open to create as much heat as I possibly can. So anyways, let's put the pipe on and go from there. Now the pipes are actually numbered. Now the funny thing is, that's going to burn off in a second. So what I did was I wrote it on, that's also going to burn off in a second, because you do have to do them in the specific order that it comes. And it goes from 1 to 7, I believe. So this is number 1. What I do is I have in the bag, I'll just show you, I got a marker. Oops. And I'm putting it away and it's cool. Just rewrite the numbers on. Take them off and rewrite the numbers. It's just a little bit of a pain, but it's something that I got to do so that I can keep the order proper. So let's put this together. Six, number 2. Number 3. It's number 7. Looking for number 4. Oh, here it is. I was like, hey, what happened to number 4? There it is. Number 5. And we're going to put 6 and 7. And then, of course, smoke arrestor. There we go. Smoke arrestor fits. Whoops. Whoa. Smoke arrestor fits perfect, despite not actually coming. I had to buy it separately, but it fits perfect, so. There we go. All right, now, I'm not actually gonna put the guy lines out because it's not windy out here. If you were in a winter situation, it's windy, or it's snowing, or it's raining, or anything like that where this could be moved around, because it's not exactly, super stable, you definitely wanna put some ropes or whatever you want to use, bungee cords, anything, and tie those guy lines off. All right, let's get this thing rolling here. All right, so last thing I'm going to do is put these in here. And the other one's behind here. And that fits in there like that. Okay, so I am going to use this. It's a zip just like the wrapper starter. Let's get this started. So we're just going to put this kindling in here first. And then we're going to get it started. All right, so we're going to put this in here, get this started. A first burn. This is exciting. I've been waiting a long time to do this. Let's see how this thing takes off. Like I said before, I'm going to do I'm going to try and heat this thing up pretty good. Well, the zip works really well. All right. Oh, that thing is catching fast. Hopefully this wood catches fast. I got it wide open. I showed you earlier. On this end, it's wide open. So, start putting a little bit of this in there. I don't want to put too much in, because I don't want it to go out. Just gonna break that down a little bit. Some of them feed in long ways. This one feeds in sideways. It just depends on the model you get, right? All right. Let's see if little bark. See if this is starting to catch it all. It's going to take time for this to catch. No doubt about it. All right, I'm just going to let that do its thing for a little bit. Hopefully I'm not putting it out. There we go. Because I think I was. Put in too much too quick, and I'm putting it out. There we go. There we go. Now this comes in handy, because I gotta let the flame. There we go. There we go. I mean, I want to get the wood in there. Oh, shoot. I want to get the wood in there. I want to get it going, but I gotta let it get some air. Okay. Definitely getting some air now. All right, so I'm going to get this started, and I'll be back very shortly. Okay, so we're a couple minutes in here, and it is starting to catch, if you can see that. Definitely starting to catch. All right, I'm going to close this up and let that catch, and we're going to see what happens. It's going to burn all the oils and manufacturing and whatnot. We're going to see if this thing smokes at all. Whoa, it's already heating up. Holy moly. I can really feel the heat coming off this. It's already starting to turn a little purple on the top from the heat. And I think we got a little bit of smoke coming out the top. So, let's keep this thing rolling. So, Titimo hot stove. It's already starting to discolor a little bit. You can see a little bit of smoke coming out there. Not a heck of a lot yet, but you can see a little bit of smoke coming out there. I'm already starting to feel the heat coming off this thing. Looks great in there. Looks fantastic. Awesome. All right, this thing is really starting to heat up. It is burning good in there. Just fantastic. Exactly what I wanted. It's giving off a lot of heat. Starting to go purple on top here, and purple on the pipes as well. That's exactly what we want. We want to burn all that stuff off. And look at the smoke coming out of there now. Oh yeah, and this thing is giving off some heat. Ooh. It's a fairly warm September night, but this thing is going to be awesome come November and December in those harsh Canadian winters in a hot tent. I can't wait to get out there and experience the stove. I might even, boil some water, have some hot chocolate or something. It's too late. I'm doing this in the evening. It's too late to have a coffee. So I'll probably have some chocolate or something. But man, that looks fantastic in there. And we're already losing those numbers I was talking about. I knew they would burn off. That's why I got the blue pen to write on it. So I got that wide open right now so that I can get as much air in there as possible and as much heat. Now, I would wear the gloves from this moment on. I'm not wearing them this exact second, but I'd be wearing the gloves if you're going to be doing anything in terms of opening doors, adjusting heat, airflow valves, etc., etc. I would definitely put those gloves on. I don't think they're fire retardant, but at least they're a little bit of a barrier. Here's the back end of it, or the back side of it. Like I said, it's a horizontal feed as opposed to a long feed. And man, it is really changing color now. Woo. And it is giving off some heat. Wow. Now I realize I'm outside. I'm not in a hot tent. But this thing is not really giving off a ton of smoke. I can see a little bit of smoke coming out, but not too much. But I can sure feel a ton of heat coming off of it. That is for sure. Wow. This thing is really, really going to heat up that hot tent beautifully. And as you can see, it is an inferno in there. Whew. So I'm going to let this burn for an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2. I really want to give it a good hot burn so that we get rid of all those chemicals and everything, and we're set to go for the winter camp, which will be coming soon. It's really beautiful just looking at those flames in there. Really beautiful. Like I said, not a lot of smoke coming off. It's really going up through the pipe, and there's barely coming out. Now obviously I'm going to ventilate the tent. Even in the freezing cold, you still got to ventilate the tent somewhat. I mean, you close it up. I'm not going to run this during the night. I'll let it burn out. So, you know, go to bed at 10:30. It'll be burned out by midnight. Sleep, get up at 4 or 5, start it up again, and it'll be safe. And as always, remember your safety and bring and as always, be safe and bring your carbon monoxide detector. I don't have one out here because I'm just doing a burn outside in my backyard. But if I was in a hot tent, carbon monoxide detector, 100%. Don't leave home without it, kids. All right, so this thing is giving off an unbelievable amount of heat. Unbelievable. It is hot. I got a pot of water here. We're going to throw it on there. We're going to see how long it takes for that to boil. All right, so we're still waiting for this to boil, of course, but I'm going to put a little more wood in there because it goes through it pretty quick and dies down. So we're going to throw a little bit more wood in there. But I'm wearing my gloves, even though I don't think they're fire retardant or anything, but still. Whoa, is that ever beautiful? That's super hot. Now you see the way these ashes come out. This is why this mat is so important. Very hot. Trying to be safe too. Not easy. As you can see, we got some soot on the inside, but that's par for the course. Let's lock that back up. These gloves don't fit very well. They're too small for me. But it is what it is. And now that is re-catching. Now I suspect this is going to take some time to boil. Yeah, it's going to take some time, but that's okay. I'm excited to see roughly how long it takes. So after just putting those logs in, You can see they caught super quick, and barely any smoke with this, which is fantastic for when I'm in the tent. My son and I are not going to get choked out. That's fantastic. So far, so good with the Titimo hot stove. As you can see, it's fairly high off of the ground with the way the legs fold out. But even though it's quite high off the ground, you got to be weary of opening the door and letting the ashes fall out. But when it's sitting like this is so beautiful. I love to watch fire. There's lots of people out there. If you're into camping, you love to watch fire. It's par for the course. All right, so we're still waiting for this water to boil. It's coming along. As you can see, it's really purple now. Really purple, and so is the stovepipe all the way up. Now that arrestor, for those of you that don't know what an arrestor is, basically it prevents sparks from popping out of the pipe to create any burns in your tent. Now, obviously, around this part of the pipe is where it's going to come out through your hot tent. And the arrestor prevents the ashes and whatever from blowing out onto your tent, creating a burn. It also prevents rain. If it's raining or snowing, it prevents snow and rain from getting down your pipe and putting your fire out, because you don't want your fire to go out. So that's basically what an arrestor does. And like I said, in the wind, I would definitely guy line this out, and I highly recommend that. So I'm just relaxing here. Boiling some water. I still got this wide open over here. I'm gonna burn the rest of this wood shortly. It looks fantastic. This thing, I can't believe how much heat it's given off. It's fantastic. Really having a lot of fun with this. Water's coming along. So it's been about 7 or 8 minutes that I've had that pot on there. It's gonna take time, It's not like those gas lighters or those ones that spark up and really give off an intense blue heat and the water boils in like a minute. It's not one of those. But you know what? The beauty of the hot tent stove is it's a slow burn. This thing's going to burn for hours potentially if you keep feeding wood into it. And it's just so awesome to be in the tent with this warming up the tent, and you're cooking on it, and you get a beautiful fire view. And like I said, just a tiny little bit of smoke coming out now, but nothing to worry about. I'm not going to worry about it in the tent. But like I said earlier, you want to make sure that you vent the tent a little bit. Obviously you want to keep the cold air out, but you definitely want to vent it a little bit so that you're not getting any carbon monoxide poisoning from the smoke. All right, we're going to put a little bit more wood in here. See if we can get this thing heated up a little bit more. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, very hot. When you're actually in a hot tent, you got to be really careful that you don't burn your tent down. That's a no-no. But we are cranking the heat up on this one. Ooh. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, look at that. Definitely heating up, and that lid's a little hot too. I'm gonna have to put a glove on after that. So that water is gonna be boiling soon. And I'll probably make some hot chocolate for the kids. That's the plan, since I'm having a beer. Okay, well, it's been close to 15 minutes. And, whoa, that is hot. It's close to boiling. Oh yeah, it's almost boiling. I mean, like I said before, it takes time. But when you're out hot tent camping, you're in no hurry. I mean, this thing is just a beautiful flame inside there, and it's giving off a ton of heat. So that water is going to be boiled in no time. Well, you can really hear the roar of this fire. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but I can definitely hear it. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but there's some steam coming out of that water. We got some water boiling. The kids are going to be getting some hot chocolate very soon. Hot chocolate. And this is boiled. It took about, I don't know, 18, 19 minutes, but it's boiling. Reboiled, but we're just going to put it down here beside the stove. And there we go. Okay, so basically, I'm doing my Michael Jackson imitation. The experiment so far and the burn in, fantastic. I'm going to burn the rest of this wood, and then I'm going to shut her down. But so far, so good. I'm looking forward to this in the tent. So we're just going to let this burn for a while. Like I said, I'm going to finish off this wood, little bit of wood here. I'm just going to let this burn down. And then I'll do my wrap up. Thanks very much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I was really excited to do this first burn, but I got to let it burn some more to get rid of these oils and whatnot. One thing I forgot to mention is obviously if you're boiling water, you can cook a meal. Stove, the top of it, of the stove, is not exactly huge. So, you know, one good pot, one good size frying pan, whatever you're, you know, maybe you could fit 2 small ones on there, something like that. But it's still very, very usable for cooking food. And that's exactly what I plan to do with it, is use it as my heat source and my cooking source. Now, the other thing I'm going to do here shortly, not exactly right away, but I'm going to close that off so that I can reduce the heat and burn it out. But I'm not quite ready to do that. I want to keep burning this for a little bit longer. But shortly, close that dampening. Or not the dampener, sorry, I'm going to close those air vents and shut this thing down. But for now, we're just going to let it burn a little longer. Okay, so this has been burning for a few hours now. I just added some more wood, but as you can see, it's mainly coals. It'll take a little bit to catch. It looks fantastic in there. A little bit of soot on the window, that's normal. I'll clean it up after it's all done. But basically, we're gonna dampen this down a little bit, or cut the air down a little bit and see what happens. So we'll just leave some air, but we're gonna cut it in half right there. All right, we're gonna choke this fire out now, close that up. And that should start the shutdown of this fire with no air getting in there. It'll just slowly burn itself out. It takes time, obviously, but without any air, it's going to burn out. Okay, so this has been Titimo hot stove. My final conclusions are this is an awesome stove. Obviously, I haven't used it in a tent yet because this is just the first burn. But from what I can see off the first burn, no smoke, beautiful color, beautiful flame. Can't see anything negative. We'll see how it cleans up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a follow-up to this video after I've used it many times. And of course, after I've used it in a hot tent, obviously. So thanks for joining me. And thanks for watching Connolly Outdoors. Remember, like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you in the great outdoors. Take care.